$50. You want me to give you 5 competitive budget decks for $50? My guy, I can't even fill my gas tank up with $50. What are we doing here? But I'll hook you up. What's going on with ya, big dog? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day, phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. In case you guys did not know, it is Update Monday. It's been a long ass time since we've been kicking rheumatoid arthritis' ass. Of course, guys, I hope that you guys have had an amazing holiday, and whether you don't celebrate or maybe you didn't have an amazing holiday, keep in mind it's just a day. You're gonna have so many awesome days in the future, I promise you that. Especially today, since my wallet is feeling like my head pretty light. But no worries, today I'm going to be telling you guys about 5 competitive Yu-Gi-Oh decks that you can get for under $50. Of course, big dog, if you know of a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh deck that you think will be really good that I forgot, go ahead and let me know down below in the comment section. I'll be sure to try to get it on my budget tier list that I'm going to be making tomorrow. And if you guys want to see personal deck lists of these particular decks, then consider joining my Patreon, as it does help your boy pay his editors. Boy, them expensive. This is the reason why we on a budget. So with all that out of the way, let's start talking about these top 5 budget decks for under $50. You're looking for a good combo deck? Well, I got you. Draco Slayer is easily one of the best combo decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! And the crazy thing about it is that it's ridiculously cheap. When I played this deck at YCS Pasadena, okay, there's a few problems. The best thing about this deck is that a lot of players don't know what Draco Slayer monsters do, and because of that, they'll make some mistakes that you can take advantage of. The bad part about it for me is that I let my dog pick my deck, and unfortunately, I didn't know what I was doing. Why'd you pick Draco Slayer? Like, seriously, come here, explain it to us. Why'd you pick Draco Slayer? Is it because you knew you was a piece of shit and nobody could read? You know I can't read. Yu-Gi-Oh players can't read, and you know it, bubba. Regardless, Draco Slayer is immaculate at being able to make some of the most scariest boards in Yu-Gi-Oh, but also has the ability to be able to break boards with ease. I mean, between having access to Exceeds, Synchros, Links, and of course, Pendulum Summon. My guys, Pendulum Summon. Pendulum Summon, my friends, just Pendulum Summon. This is a deck that can search any field spell card from the deck to the hand. Mini cards like Necro Valley is really easy to get, and you guys should already know how bad Necro Valley is against the best deck. I'm not gonna cap, Draco Slayer is definitely for the big-brained Yu-Gi-Oh players, but if you want something that is a little under the radar and maybe not as topped as much as Draco Slayer, because that deck got tops. My guys, if your mom and Draco Slayers were like, we would still be in a relationship. We wouldn't be going anywhere. A deck that may not have received as much success as Draco Slayer, but has received success over the past few weekends is Fur Hire. Now, I know what you're probably thinking.
Another BBW deck topic? Zootopia!
You guys can't lie, like all of the animals in one strategy and beat looking really close to that rabbit. I mean, yo, something just might get beat. Fur Hires are actually extremely good under that $50 budget. I think it could be a pretty good deck. Basically how Fur Hires operate is that you can special summon one another to the side of the field, and when one is summoned, you're able to gain an effect. Whether it's searching, destroying, special summoning, or recurring, the Fur Hire monsters got it all. My favorite thing about the Fur Hire deck is that this strategy can actually draw a ton of cards from the deck to the hand. Full Go Justice Fur Hire allows you to draw up to 3 cards when you destroy one of your opponent's cards. My guy, all you gotta do is clap them on their turn. That's real easy. That's gonna be real easy for the deck. Combine that with Raffle Champion Fur Hire, which allows you to excavate and gain any card you want to from your deck to your hand. You can get so many disruptive cards to stop your opponent, or even other cards to be able to continue on with your engine. I'm not 100% sure if the Zootopia deck is going to be another top contender, but what I do know about the deck is that it is ridiculously cheap and it did top a regional, so it's fairly good. Now, what I love about Plunder Patrol so much is that it can summon some really powerful cards as long as light and dark monsters are in the format. My guy, is your mom still single? Then there'll always be light and darks in the format. And with that, Plunder Patrol's extra deck cards are extremely sneakily good, not only being able to banish a card on your opponent's side of the field, getting rid of some of your opponent's most important monsters can be prohibitive to them, but also being able to negate their monster effects. It's the drawback that actually gets me, requiring you to discard a Plunder Patrol card from your hand to the graveyard, which will trigger that Plunder Patrol effect or get you advantage in the long run, as well as essentially searching a different Plunder Patrol from your deck to your hand. Sheesh. My guys, not only that, Plunder Patrol is actually getting better with Photon Hypernova. I know that there are a ton of Earth-based decks going on right now, and soon they'll get an Earth monster to be able to combat that. Plunder Patrol is also one of those decks I like to call scalable, basically meaning that the core is extremely cheap to be able to get, but as you progress and learn the strategy, get better with it, you can combine it with other good Yu-Gi-Oh cards that will transfer over to other strategies, so it's actually a perfect beginner deck. I never in my life would have thought that Plunder Patrol would be a good deck 3 years later, but we actually have some other decks that are extremely good and they're even older. Take, for example, Notoria. Notoria? Like... Sit back in there, Sonny. I remember when Notorious first came out and hit an Arsenal. Yeah, that was a bad deck. He ain't lying about that. Notoria is actually so interesting because it could be just one of the most annoying decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! It benefits from being sent from the deck to the graveyard, so decks that play the Ishizu cards actually benefit this deck, as well as having the Ishizu shufflers inside of its deck itself, being able to get those resources back to allow Notoria to almost play forever. What I've been seeing for a lot of Notoria players is that they've actually been incorporating runic cards, which I don't know how to feel about it. On one hand, I just want to punch you in your face, but on the other hand, I understand. I understand. Come here so I could greet you in your face. Because the Notoria cards are so cheap, you can not only get those, the Ishizu shufflers, and a good portion of the runic cards for under $50 and still have a pretty coherent deck. The runic cards also give you the utility to be able to disrupt your opponent and draw into your Notoria cards to make your deck a lot more consistent. Now you can't cap, for $50 these decks have been pretty good and they've all followed a particular theme. Every single one of these decks have actually topped an event this format, which I think is kind of insane that you can actually start your Yu-Gi-Oh journey or continue on with as little as $50. On top of that, I used none of the Structure Deck decks like Structure Deck Albaz, Structure Deck Dark World, and Structure Deck Crystal Beast, and while I do think that those are fairly competent decks, I didn't want to cheat ya. The last strategy is a little bit of hopium with copium, but this is another deck that actually topped, so maybe not so much. Black Wings, we talked about last time as being a competitive $30 budget deck. Now, if you got 20 mo, you in the game. What I like about Black Wings is that it takes full advantage of some really powerful synchro monsters that you don't often see. Being able to summon some of those really restrictive synchro and Xyz monsters, Black Wings have no problem being able to summon those particular monsters because of how the deck is built, and as long as you can keep on summoning Black Wing monsters to your side of the field, you are going to have some combos that your opponent just won't see. I mean, look guys, if normal summon Rabina is not your thing, but you still want a normal summon, then normal summon a Black Wing monster is the next best thing. Another thing that I absolutely love about Black Wings is the different types of versions of Black Wing there is. I don't think I've seen the same Black Wing deck top, as there's so many different variants, there's so many different ways to play the deck, it is extremely exciting. But of course, if you think that I missed a particular budget strategy, I really want you to let me know down below in the comment section, and also let me know of some other strategies or some other tips for the players that are looking into these decks. As always, if you want to see more amazing TheCaliEffect content, we have an abundance of that. Go ahead and check out these videos, big dog, as I'll catch you on the next one.